Welcome to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith.
And I'm Monty Belmonte. Later in the show, Live Music Friday with up-and-comer Lucia Dostal before you can see her and a full band perform in Northampton's Bands on Brewster this coming Thursday.
And we head to one of the most unique areas of Spain for this week's Wine Thunderdome to taste Basque rosés at Tip Top in East Hampton.
But first, late last night or early this morning, depending on how you look at it, a decision affecting public media across the country was made.
Yep, the rescission passed. But to find out how that will affect us here at NEPM, we figured it best to go straight to our boss and ask him. Just push that one button right there, Matt.
We used to have a person for that, but we had to fire them.
We've never needed the person for that. We have never needed the person,
dude.
Yeah, you know, gallows humor. That's what I do. That's how I get through all these things.
I'm not going gallows today.
I'm going Ernest and Julio Gallows.
Oh, God.
I'll just stick with Ernest.
Why would you do that?
No, we have better
That's
wine.
the worst. We have much better wine
to taste
coming
later in the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Oh. Late last night, Congress formally approved the president's request to cut funding to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. The loss of public media funding in this country will be a devastating blow for local stations and the millions of Americans who rely on their services.
This decision affects thousands of radio, TV, and digital outlets across the country, but how exactly will it affect us here at New England Public Media? And to answer that question, and some others that we and you might have, is NEPM President Matt Abramovitz.
Matt Abramovitz joined NEPM in February of 2022, coming from WX. No, that's not your call.
That's
things.
a hard call letters to get around.
WQXR. Did you do that on purpose to make it difficult? You helped found this station.
I did not found WQXR. That was done in the 1920s.
You helped to launch it as a public station.
Yes,
that's what I mean.
Yes.
Where at that station you were vice president of programming. Abramovitz started his nearly 3 decades in media at the renowned jazz station WBGO in Newark, New Jersey.
He later joined Sirius Satellite Radio, where he was a member of the original music team at launch and programmed stations for jazz, blues, and rock. He served on the board of the Public Radio Program Directors Association since 2014, and now he's our boss. You've been on the phone for weeks with elected officials, with NPR National, and with WGBH, our parent company here at NEPM. You've been following this very closely, I know, into the wee hours of the night, watching C-SPAN or PBS on C-SPAN to see how this vote would go down. And late last night, once again, a vote went apart from the way that you wanted it to go as the president of a public media station, and as we, your employees as well, commiserate with you. Tell us, I think people get confused about
where our place is connected to NPR and PBS.
Yes.
Right. And on top of that...
And the Corporation for Public Broadcasting on top of that.
So let me just start with the legislative action in case you watched it last night. And I also want to acknowledge that if you watched it last night, like I did, Rhett McGovern was on fire. And he's, a champion of public broadcasting and was very much against this rescission and did everything in his power from the floor and in the Rules Committee to make sure it didn't advance.
Including trying to release the Epstein files, making this up. Right.
Yeah. So just to kind of break this down, basically the legislation that passed last night and will be signed today claws back 2 years of funding to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which is a separate entity that takes federally appropriated money and sends it out to public broadcasters. And those include PBS, they include NPR, that are both based in D.C., and it includes local stations across the country, more than 1,500 stations that get grants from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. It has an advance appropriation, and now that money is clawed back. And so as of October 1st, all of those public broadcasting entities across the country, PBS, NPR, and the local stations, will not receive any money from the CPB.
It's not like they're reaching into NEPM's bank account and taking that money out of it. It's that it runs out when it would have been refunded at the beginning of October.
That's correct. So one of the things that has helped public broadcasting grow into the system it has become is that we had a reliable base of support from federal dollars through the CPB. And so, yes, the federal fiscal year starts on October 1st. And so when these funds run out, there will be no more. And that's kind of what we're looking at, is that the grant that we had planned on and budgeted around kind of goes to zero in the new fiscal year.
I think the other thing that people might not understand is this idea of the rescission, why they had to claw it back, as opposed to the so-called big, beautiful budget that passed last week. The way that the Corporation for Public Broadcasting has been funded in advance. Can you talk a little bit about that and why this rescission needed to be part of it if the defunding of public media was what the Trump administration was aiming to do right away?
Yeah, so the folks who set up the CPB recognize that one of the challenges when you have a broadcast entity dedicated to the free press and to delivering trustworthy information to the American people is that you don't want it kind of being a political football in the halls of Congress. And so the advanced appropriation, which gave CPB 2 years of funding, made sure there was a level of stability. No matter what happened in Congress, you could count on this level of funding for a couple of years. And the money varied a little bit year to year, but it was something that you could count on, and it helped these stations grow and feel some stability, even when the market might change for media. And we've seen that in our lifetime, how much it's changed. So the advance appropriation meant that there were a couple of years in the bank waiting to go to the CPB. We've seen in the first Trump administration, and frankly, in every Republican administration since Nixon, efforts to defund the CPB. This was successful. It'll happen. It's not in the president's budget for the coming fiscal year. And by this rescission action, they're making sure it doesn't come back in. And so the money is gone for the next 2 years, and then the future appropriation would have affected years beyond that. We're getting way in the weeds.
No.
But I think this is important for people to figure it out.
The weeds are important here because it definitely lays out a little bit more of the nuance of how this neural network of stations and outlets actually works. When I talk about where I work, I mentioned that I work at an NPR affiliate. It is part of a chain of things that people don't necessarily understand how that works.
Right.
I mean, it's the same as if you're looking at Channel 5 in Boston. They are an ABC affiliate. They're not necessarily ABC, but like there's a connection there that people don't necessarily get the gist of. So
Brian Lapis works for 22 News,
right?
But he doesn't, and kind of works for NBC,
kind of works
but not
for,
really.
But not really. Yeah. Explaining a little bit more of how we work within that chain is a bit necessary at this point in time.
You got it. So we are an NPR affiliate, as you said, and what that means is that we pay NPR every year. It's about $500,000, a little bit more, for all of its programming. So if folks listen to Morning Edition or All Things Considered or Wait, Don't Tell Me, those are NPR shows that NPR distributes and produces, and we pay for them on an annual basis. And so that gives us the right to put them on the air here, and they're really important to our community here in Western Mass. And so that's how we are an NPR affiliate. We also carry the newscasts and so forth. Yes, lots of people think they listen to NPR, but they're truly listening to a local station, and we have the money to pay NPR because folks in this community contribute. And most of our money does come from local businesses, local donors, members, et cetera. But this critical piece of federal funding supports not just us, but this whole ecosystem of show producers, NPR itself, PBS itself. And so it really is a critical piece of keeping this whole thing locked together.
We're speaking with NEPM President Matt Abramovitz about the recent cuts in the rescission package, specifically to public broadcasting. There were other cuts, USAID cuts, global soft power. Some people have been referring to it as ways that we were giving humanitarian aid across the globe, which have also been drastically cut through this. But because this is Matt Abramovitz's wheelhouse and we're here self-serving to a certain degree, we're going to learn more about this. It's almost this rescission is a double whammy in the sense that NEPM and other local stations have had a cut, but NPR has also had a cut. So even though we pay NPR for programming, we have less money to pay them with now because of this cut, and NPR itself has less money
to put towards shows that we would put on this station.
Exactly. So let's get into the jot and tittle of this. How much money? That's a real thing from the Bible, everybody. It may sound,
I know.
It might sound titillating.
Like, depending on your translation.
Oh my God, did I say that in front of my boss? How much money does this cut from NEPM's budget in actual dollars and cents?
Sure. So in our current fiscal year budget, we were planning on a grant from the CPB of $875,000. As I said, as of October 1st, that number would go down to zero. I want to just say, too, that...
Can we just stop right there?
Yeah.
$875,000.
Yes.
Think about your household income. Think about what business you may be a part of. To take a hit for 1 year of $875,000, that's a lot of money.
Well, I want to go beyond that, though. It's not just 1 year. It's this year and every year moving forward.
Right.
And so our work just got a lot harder. We are turning to our community for immediate, rapid response to this because this is something that we do need to bridge as we try to think about ways of working without federal support. There are efforts to bring that support back through the appropriations process and some other means in Congress right now. It's a hard process to predict, and I think we need to kind of start to prepare for other outcomes. it is it's a big number. And unfortunately, it also gets a little bit bigger when you get under the hood. The CPB does other things besides directly support stations with grants. It also helps pay for music licensing. That lets music stations play music and pay for it properly. It also supports our website, CMS. And that is all federal dollars that support these services that all these stations rely on. And there is a future, possibly, where stations would be kind of on their own to buy their own website CMS or to negotiate their own music rights to play music on the radio or the TV. And that puts even more pressure on these local stations. Now, we're fortunate. That $875 is about 10, 12% of our operating budget. There are stations in more rural parts of the country where the federal grant represents 20, 30, 40% of their total income. And these stations won't just struggle, they will shudder.
Yep.
We here at NEPM, there was a lot of publicity, both on these airwaves and other press, about the financial shortfall that NEPM was experiencing over the last couple of years when you came on to try to right the ship. That shortfall was going in the right direction. There was a multi-million-dollar yearly deficit that NEPM was experiencing that has now been shrunk. Not completely fixed, but a much more manageable number. We now shoot back up in the wrong direction, all because of the stroke of the pen that will happen today.
Yes. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat this. It's a step backwards. We've been making great progress, and I think we have a great team doing work that the community responds to, and we've had tremendous fundraising success and audience success, and I think we're doing important, critical work here in Western Mass and beyond. And we have we're planning for a deficit this year, but it's relatively small, and now the hill got a lot steeper. So it really is, I think that we have a revenue problem, not a mission or service problem, and we really want to help close that gap with our local community, because fundamentally it's the people who use this service and value it who are going to help us kind of navigate this turbulent time.
Well, and now we'll have to do it with local community. Can you talk, this might also be getting a little bit into the weeds, but
Sure.
about the difference in voting for this rescission as opposed to voting for a restoration, which has been bandied about a bit on the Republican side at least?
What we saw is that there were House members on the Republican side who were publicly in support of public media. They understood what these cuts would do to stations across the country, and they still voted for the rescission. Part of that has to do with the dynamics of the Republican Party and the pressure that these folks are under, and I think that they may think there are other paths to support these stations, but that they felt they had to fall in line. I don't know. I can only speak to the reps I spoke to, and I had great contact with the offices of both Representative McGovern and Representative Neal, and both were strongly in support of defeating this rescission. And I don't know that I can speak with any authority on kind of what folks are going through, but it is an interesting dynamic where you're getting folks who can say, I love my station, I know they need this money, and I'm going to vote to claw it back.
And we did hear that. It was an almost party line vote last night in the middle of the night. I think there were 2 Republicans
who were no votes.
But apart from that, think of how many people are in the House of Representatives. It was largely along party lines. Let me play devil's advocate with you for a second here. Matt Abramovitz, who is the president of NEPM, as we are experiencing this $875,000 cut at this local NPR affiliate, in addition to the $1 billion+ of cuts that will go to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting across the country. Why public broadcasting? Why should the federal government fund a radio station or media at all? Are we the mouthpiece of the government? If we take these federal funds, maybe we should all be on our own and independent capitalist contractors seeing what people want and giving the people what they want and getting funded like good old-fashioned capitalism. Why do we need federal funding for public broadcasting at all?
Here's the honest answer. If you go back to the founding of this country, the only field of work that was called out in the Constitution was the press. It was recognized then, and I think it's recognized now, that an informed citizenry is the backbone, the foundation, the bedrock of a functioning democracy and a society. And it is in the interest of the government for our citizens to have good information that they can trust, that is truthful. I think that it's an investment in our lives. It is an investment in our community. And I think that it's very much in the interest of the American people to support a system. And in some ways, I think you could make the case that not only should the federal government support journalism, especially when it's faced, if you look at the way newspapers have evaporated across this country, supporting local journalism and the free press is in everyone's interest. In fact, maybe we should be supporting it more, not less.
A la England, the BBC.
Correct. There are other countries that have recognized that this is an important piece of keeping societies functioning, and you actually have to invest more in it. And I did hear that from some representatives of the Massachusetts delegation. I think that the work that we do, the work that this show does in this community, for example, I think that's part of what glues our region together. And I think it's something that's very much in everyone's interest to support.
What do these cuts and our possible responsibility for our licensing mean for classical NEPM?
Right now, we're still trying to assess what we can raise locally to support our operations, and classical NEPM is still part of what we do. And one of the joys of public broadcasting has been it delivers not just news and talk, but it delivers documentaries and music and all sorts of other great riches. So I think at this point, it's so fresh that we are assessing kind of what next steps could be. But until then, we are here to keep going.
Does this actually mean the dissolution of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting?
The CPB is doing its best to look for other routes to be funded. And they are also preparing for a wind down phase. And so they've indicated that they're in the process of shuttering and making good on the existing contracts they've had, and then starting to kind of pull up stakes and pull out of town.
$875,000 per year is a large number to make up, while we were already trying to make up a multi-million-dollar yearly deficit that we were doing a good job under your leadership doing. There have been 2 rounds of cuts since we've been here for employees. Does that look like something that's looming on the horizon to try to close that gap for NEPM?
It would be too early for me to say. I mean, right now we are looking to fundraise and to think about other ways we can cut expenses without affecting our staff. Layoffs are always an option of last resort. So we're not there yet. But at this point, we are in uncharted territory for all public broadcasting. And across the system, we are looking at all the options to keep what we've built over the last 50 years going strong.
One of those options will begin Tuesday here in an emergency fund drive that was unscheduled, but is all of a sudden very, very necessary.
Very necessary.
Very necessary. Yeah.
And we'll have more on that all next week, where hopefully this gives you some insight into what's been going on with the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, with the rescission package, with the budget, the fact that not only are the giant programs you love from NPR and PBS under threat, but your local stations that bring you those programs are under threat all at the same time because of the rescission and because of the budget that passed last week. But we want to put the public in public broadcasting, and you are the public, and you will have an opportunity. If you believe in public media, which we hope that you do, and you probably do because you're listening to it right now, you will be able to support right now by going to nepm.org, but in earnest on Tuesday with this emergency fund drive.
And frankly, if you're curious about the possibilities for restoration, call those representatives and ask them what that actually means, what it would look like, and how it would maybe affect the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, NPR, PBS.
Well, I, for one, want to say, and not just because you're my boss and because you're on the radio right now, that I've been a fan of public media since I was a child growing up in the umbrella of GBH in the Boston area and watching public television. As a late teenager getting into public radio, and the opportunity that public radio and public television provide to give us a glimpse into the places we live, whether it was this old house and literally going into people's houses with Norm and the Boston accent and fixing things up, to the Cosmos with Carl Sagan, to
all of the cooking shows that literally raised me from a child.
Yeah, and that we have been given that opportunity by you, who had the vision to say we need to do better at covering where we live. That we've been able to do that for the last 2.5 years has been a gift, and it's something I would love to continue to be able to do. And we can't do it without your support. And we're in a state right now.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I appreciate what this show and what you two bring to it every single day. And I think that it's one of those things that if you look around everything that's been happening over the last few months, I think that this sense of serving people through the media for the public good and bringing our communities together with trusted voices and good information and entertainment, those are things that we need more than ever. And I'm so grateful that you two are here doing that every day.
And thank you for giving us that opportunity. Matt Abramovitz, the president of New England Public Media, giving us some insight into what this rescission means for our bottom line here and for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting across the country. Thanks so much.
Got further questions? Email.
Maybe we'll do a Mondays with Matt.
Anytime. I'm ready to go.
Hey, Matt, are things still bad?
Yeah, checking in on the Skycopter. Things are still bad. The
Okay,
Skycopter's
great.
out of gas. We no
Awesome.
longer can afford the Skycopter.
There are statements about the rescission on our website, nepm.org. So while you're there checking out the great reporting the station does, or maybe previous episodes of our own show, you can read more about this development and ways you can help, including our impromptu, very important fund drive happening next week.
Live Music Friday happens later in the show with Lucia Dostal, who you can catch on Thursday in Northampton.
But after the news of this week, we will gladly take reprieve in a glass at Tip Top Wine Shop in East Hampton next.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Northeast Solar, helping customers make the switch to solar for savings, energy security, and tax incentives. Learn more at northeast-solar.com. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Window World of Western Mass, a local family business with experienced craftsmen offering wood, vinyl, and composite windows. windowworldofwesternma.com.
I'm under the sun and smelling the ocean and some flowers, and this is delightful.
Well, the Wine Thunderdome has returned to Tip Top Wine Shop in East Hampton with our friends Lauren Clark and Miranda Brown. We are at the end of a table that is filled with rosés. I wore my rosé shirt, meaning it's got roses all over it, and that is exactly what we're drinking today.
We're doing a battle of the Chocolate Rosés from the Basque region on the north coast of Spain.
Chocolate? Chocolate!
Chocolatey!
Oh, no.
What is chocolate?
It is a style of wine. It's not a place. It historically was a very crisp, dry, white wine, very low ABV. And Amestoy started making rosé really only like 25 years ago. They send it all to America, and I think that they have opinions.
Basque people with opinions.
Here, tariff this, America!
They send us all of the rosé. They're like, I guess, here you go.
But
This is what you guys weirdos like.
Yeah, exactly.
But that said, at least one of these, we have tried the white with Ken Washburn, our wine friend in Franklin County, and it is an absolute delight. I do believe it won that particular Wine Thunderdome.
All right. Well, tell us about these two.
So the first one is, I guess, the lesser-known one. It is called Balea, which is Basque for whale, because this used to be a very big whaling territory in Spain. It is 50-50, though, the main white grape and the main red grape that is grown in that region.
What are those grapes?
They are Andarabi Zuri and Andarabi Belza.
So this is one of those rosés where it's not skin contact for a little bit to make it rosé. It is a white and red blend.
Right. Belza is the red, and I think there's almost, maybe it's gone up a little bit. There's like 17 hectares of it in existence. Like, it's not a very common thing.
I don't think I've ever had this grape, so I'm really excited to try this. I think the label is cool. It's got a whale tail on it. Mm-hmm. It's my dream to see a whale breach from the shore. Not to go on a whale watch, but to be like in Provincetown and look out, and then there's a humpback whale, which somebody took a picture of. It happened earlier this week, and I immediately sent it to my family and was like, oh, I hate these people.
Don't make me get in a boat, people.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you're going in June, you're going too early for it,
Well,
right?
I've talked to the folks out there, and they say you never know. There were whales in the Cape Cod Canal in Sandwich. They were just hanging out there for like a week. So you never know when you're going to see them. I always go to the edge of the ocean and yell, "Hey, whales!" in case they hear me.
Worth a shot.
Yeah.
You're there.
Wow, that's the most New England thing we've said today.
It worked for Bert and Ernie fishing.
Fishy, fishy, fishy! One fish? Wow!
Don't do that with whales. If they jump into your boat, you have no more boat. You're probably going to live with the whales for your next 30 seconds.
The most New England thing you can do about whales is the baby whale skit of those two guys who saw an ocean sunfish.
It's a baby wheel, man! Holy we are witnessing a baby wheel right here, dude.
I watch it once a year because it delights me.
This smells so pretty.
Yeah, it's nutty. Not in like a crazy way.
No.
It is crazy though, being a blend of red and white, which is not usually how they make rosé. But there's a smell of nuttiness on it.
That is fun.
Yep. Also, I'm getting some peach. Like a not too ripe peach.
I get like slightly unripe strawberry.
A little bit of watermelon for me.
Oh yeah, and definitely on the palate. It's like it feels refreshing like watermelon.
Yep. Yeah. But it still gets a little bit of that almondy thing happening on the nose and on the palate too.
There's also characteristic of these wines is a light effervescence. I mean, on the topic of New England things, this would be great with any fried seafood.
Yes.
Yeah, it's because it's got a really good minerality. It's got more fruit than a lot of the white wines that I want to have with seafood, but it's still such a bracing minerality and acidity. I think it would be good seafood. You could even get away with oysters with this, I think.
I think that you could. Like, especially like a sweeter oyster, definitely.
Yeah. And those two grapes once again?
Andarabi Zuri and Andarabi Beltza. Zuri is the white, Beltza is the red.
Basque does great cider too. And so there's, you don't like Basque cider?
I really, really dislike Basque cider.
I love Basque cider.
I know, but it's that sour thing that like really wine people especially like key up for, and it's not what I want in my ciders.
But this has a little bit of that almost a tart or close to sour kind of thing happening too. That's reminding me of what I like about Basque cider.
Well, these wines are made very close to the ocean. So they have that little kiss of ocean spray.
They can see a whale from their vineyard. Hey, whale!
Fishy, fishy, fishy!
And there is a whale tail on this rosé Balia from Basque region of Spain.
Just past Lauren's head at the white version that they have on the shelf too, so you can try both versions of this wine.
Yeah, that looks really fun. Okay, Wine Thunderdome, Tip Top Wine Shop, Lauren Clark, Miranda Brown, East Hampton, 2 rosés. Which rosé has entered the chat here?
Amestoy Rubentus.
Tell us what grapes this rosé is made from.
Same as the Balea, both the Andarabi Zuri and the Andarabi Beltza. So a blend of red and white grapes.
Wow.
Is that just the core of the style of chocolate that it uses those grapes? Why not name it after the grape?
That's a question. That's a question for the Basques.
This one is more funky, and I like that.
Fruitier. It's got a lot more like red, like candy red fruit on there.
Do you know the fruit that's on a stick where it's got the hard sugar shell? Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Okay.
Like a candied apple?
But not a candied apple, like other fruits. Like you get like a skewer and it's all fruit. They're glacéed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a term for this that I definitely should know.
It's interesting how different these are. There is still a minerality because it's still close to the ocean, but the peach is a riper peach.
Yep. And there's a bigger valley between the minerality and that fruitiness, I feel like. There's a little bit of a gap.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because I would have had the opposite assumption. So I thought the Amestoy was going to be more mineral, more dry, more bracing, but it's actually more fruit forward, which is kind of cool in a really delicious way.
There's a difference when a wine is fruity versus when a wine is sweet, and this one is certainly not sweet, but it is definitely fruitier and also sweeter, like the candy you mentioned.
The fruit is riper for this one than it was for the other one, for sure.
Price-wise, are these about the same?
Yes. And we should say the Amestoy is sort of they're basically the inventor of this style. They invented the chocolatey rosé. So they have some cachet. They can charge more.
All right, let's go back to the front.
Let's go back to the front.
Food Truck Fridays here in this Mill Row in East Hampton where Tip Top is. Next one is next Friday, the 25th, right?
Exactly. Not this week. Goes every other week in July and August.
How have those been?
When not rained out or rained on, they've been great.
Oh yeah, this got brighter.
The minerality has mellowed out a little bit too.
Yeah, the acidity is a lot more pronounced in this one.
Yeah. But I don't have that nutty thing at all.
Yeah, the nuts are gone.
What happened to the nuts?
It was chock full of nuts.
And now they're gone like dandadan. Tiny jokes for all the anime otakus who are not listening to this segment.
Still real tasty though. Balia, like the baleen whale.
Oh, if that's a flounder, man, let's pull it in, Jay. Come on. Jay, we could get some big money for that if it's a f***ing fish, buddy. Come on.
You guys are so cool and legit.
Oh my god, thank you. We were in Imbibe magazine.
What?
That's right.
Sorry, did I interrupt?
No, please. Interrupt right. What did you hear that was so? What's your name? Where are you from?
I don't know.
But what about in Vibe magazine?
We were listed in their guide to indie wine shops across America.
Whoa.
We were one of 2 wine shops in Massachusetts.
What was the other one, you know?
The Urban Grape in Boston.
Oh, cool. Wow, cool. East Hampton and Boston.
I know. What? Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
And Vibe does a lot of in-depth articles on cocktails that I love reading and half believe.
Can't believe any alcoholic beverage writing. But please read my column in the Valley Advocate.
I believe more cocktail writing than wine writing, to be honest.
Well, you should read my last one in the Valley Advocate because it caused a controversy.
Oh, did it?
Did?
Yep.
Ooh, because it's about.
I'll tell you off the record, yeah.
It's about the things.
I want to hear this scuttlebutt.
This is the best thing about trying 2 of the same style of wine, and you really get a chance to see how different it gets between the 2 of them, because one of these is very acid, very mineral forward, and the other one has definitely got more softer elements happening. And it's the same grape, probably in the same percentages or very close, and like it's just kind of astounding how different they are. It's wonderful.
2 grapes. I don't think I've ever had either of these, so this is a really fun experience for both of these wines. I love trying things I've never tried before.
Yeah, and it's not only the same grapes and the same ratios, but also like the same appellation. So they're growing, making these very close together.
And yet so very different.
So very different.
Like, we did an asparagus tasting of asparagus from 3 different places, 2 of which were Western Mass, and it was hard for people to tell the difference. But these things are happening basically exact same place and are vastly different stylistically.
I tasted 6 different oysters from around Wellfleet
Oh, yeah.
several years ago. That was wild.
That's crazy too, yeah.
Yeah.
When you think of Wellfleet oysters as one thing, but then you're like, no.
Yeah.
It's all about microclimate. It's all about these little nuances.
Yep.
See Monday's show, and we hear about the nuances between the geological makeup of our valley and how different and interesting that can be.
Yeah, and how you get to see the 2 very different things along one trail.
Yeah.
Really cool.
One thing I want to bring up is, because you were saying that it's cool that you didn't know these grapes, these wines represent a really cool story that's ongoing in the wine world, which is the resurrection of indigenous grapes.
I love that. And people not pulling out all the rootstock to plant something that's very popular and trendy, usually for the American market, but saying, you know what, maybe the American market has finally learned to experiment a little bit more. We're going to give them what actually is supposed to be going here.
Yeah.
And then we're going to tariff it.
I mean,
Just when we were getting momentum.
Cool. He forgot he hired someone. Anyway.
Yep. Jerome Powell. Who would hire that guy?
Sure.
All right. Wine Thunderdome, Tip Top Wine Shop, East Hampton. 2 rosés enter from the same place, the same style. Chocoli
Or Chocolina. Either or.
from the Basque region of Spain. The Belia and the
Amastoy.
Amastoy. Anybody ready to vote?
Yeah.
Nope.
Miranda's ready.
I'm ready. I'm going Amastoy. It's really, the fruit's really coming together on this like second tasting. It's really working for me on all levels.
I'm ready. I love the Belia, and I wanted so much to be able to yell, "Hey whale," for my vote. But there is something visceral and human in the fleshy nature of the peach. It's a little bit pheromone and kind of turns me on. I'm voting for the Amastoy.
Oh my god.
Wouldn't it be weirder if the whale turned me on?
No, I don't know. I've seen The Shape of Water. I don't know. It's the fight between 2 ideologies. Do I want it, like, is today a day where I want more minerality or a day where I want more fruit? And I will say for the Amastoy, like, that gap that I've tasted the first time, like, filled in as it got warmer. So, like, there's way less, like, of a tasteable difference between, like, its acid and where its fruit is. But that said, you should get this microphone out of my face because I don't have a choice. Done.
Okay.
I'm ready. Mostly on the basis of imagining this with fried clams, I'm voting Balea.
Bring this over to Captain Jack's Roadside Shack.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like,
Best fried clams that I know of. If I were to tell you anywhere on the Cape to go to get fried clams, I'd say, how about East Hampton, Captain Jack's Roadside Shack?
I mean,
Drive the 4 hours.
I think both of these would be great with food. And if you had plain chips, I'd say, like, that would probably be the deciding factor.
You don't have plain chips here. You only
I
have weird
know.
chips from Asia.
I know.
What are the weirdest flavors as of late?
At the moment, we have like a buldak chicken, like hot, like spicy chicken ramen flavor. Yo, we have some Old Bay cheese curls from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That are ridiculous.
Those are coming home.
They're so good.
Man, I'm going to make this a tie. I also want a lot of minerality today. I want the Balea.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We'll call it a draw.
All right. We'll call it a draw.
Both of these are wonderful.
Let's go shopping, and then if somebody else comes in, we'll make them
Every
taste it.
tiebreaker left
All
too
the
soon.
tiebreakers just left.
Maybe our friend, the quitter mayor, Nicole LaChapelle, will walk in, like she did one other time, and we made her be the tiebreaker.
I don't think so. I think she's, nope, not going to say that on the recorder.
Will she at a Grateful Dead concert now that she works for the DCR? Miranda, you, as we mentioned, have all these incredible chips from Asia that are in different languages.
Yes.
Different versions of Chinese and Korean and things like that, but you use your phone, which will translate these, and one of the chips you have the translation for.
So I have many translations. This is a fun trick if you ever do buy chips here, and you just use the Google Translate app. Just point it will give you a translation, and then move it and bring it back, and it changes every single time. So sometimes I just like to screenshot them. For the Buldak chicken ramen one, it says on the back, if you don't accept the 5 things, it's very bad. Thick and crispy. Give it a light lawsuit. And the first ingredient this time was horsehair potato. But there was another time when I looked at that, and the first ingredient was horse mist, which I've decided is my next band name.
That's a great alt-country band name.
Right?
Horse Mist.
I saw Horse Mist in the basement of Pearl Street
Yeah,
in
right?
1999.
They opened up for Uncle Tupelo.
That's right.
All right, well, we're calling it a draw. You know what's going to win? These Old Bay cheese curls.
I mean, what wins honestly is Basque Country because they've been doing really good work, both in cider, even if it's not my favorite thing, and in wine, and regions like that are under duress by the people in charge who say things against the indigenous population and maybe regulate against them should be supported. And when they make beautiful wines like this, everybody wins.
I'm bringing one of each maker home, too. So, yeah, I guess it's a straight-up draw.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks for coming.
And congratulations on your Imbibe magazine write-up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone is pretty this week.
And we'll top it off with pretty local music from Lucia Dostal for Live Music Friday.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass 5 College Credit Union, dedicated to creating access to financial well-being for local people, businesses, and communities. Insured by NCUA, umass5.coop.
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. It is Live Music Friday, and with us today is the Valley's own Lucia Dostal.
Lucia Dostal is a musical artist and songwriter from Western Massachusetts who performs in an assortment of ensembles, sizes, and instrumentations. Her lyricism, honest and appropriately clever, is supported by contemporary genres, including indie pop, folk, and soul.
In the spring of 2022, Dostal headed to Boston to continue her studies in music and musical performance. In 2024, she began additionally writing for screen and fellow artists, and just graduated from Berkeley. Woo-hoo. Yeah, we get nods in the studio.
The bio said anticipates graduating in 2025, so we didn't want.
We're like, I'm pretty sure that was in the past.
Sometimes it's good to drop out of Berkeley, and I've known as many people that have dropped out as have graduated.
I mean, it happens more often than not. It seems
right.
like.
You used to be able to go work at Tower Records around the corner, but now that doesn't even exist anymore.
On finishing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Her debut album and the eponymous LP was released in December of 2023, and her latest EP, Wild Child, first streamed on October 4th, 2024. Lucia Dostal currently works for Madden Flow Entertainment and World Fusion Music Production as a songwriter-producer. Still true. And is joined in the studio today by Carly Morales and Joey Schuyler, who are backing up Lucia Dostal, who will play at bands on Brewster this coming Thursday. Let's start out with a song.
Woo. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This one's called Breakup Bangs. I had to cut it all off. Every inch that you were there, uneven, too short. Isn't it obvious I don't care? I can be impulsive, I'll admit a well thought out decision ruins the fun of it now. I've got breakup bangs, 'cause waiting for yours. Now look what you're missing. I'm not anything like before. I can be impulsive, I'll admit a well thought out decision ruins the fun of it now. I've got breakup bangs, 'cause I gave you everything. I don't wanna be that girl that you knew, so I'm cutting my hair on the floor of the bathroom. I've got breakup bangs, had to reinvent everything I knew, 'cause it all reminded me of you. It's like self-sabotage, but I gotta have you gone out of my mind, off of my head. Whatever I gotta do to get rid of you, call it what you want, but I know I won't be calling you up. I can cut it all off, and you best believe I will. Now I've got breakup bangs, 'cause I gave you everything. I don't wanna be that girl that you knew, so I'm cutting my hair on the floor of the bathroom. I've got breakup bangs, had to reinvent everything I knew, 'cause it all reminded me of you.
Woo! Lucia Dostal for Live Music Friday here in the fabulous 413, getting a backup from Carly Morales and Joey Schuyler. True that you actually cut your bangs on stage?
So, yeah, on stage. True. And back in 2020 after that breakup. Woo-wee.
Pre-pandemic or mid-pandemic breakup?
Mid-pandemic.
Yeah.
Like May, prime time.
Yeah. I had a bad breakup and dyed my hair purple when I had hair.
Well, that's fantastic.
So that seems like a common thing to do with a breakup.
I mean, like, it's a grief thing. You cut your hair in grief.
It's
Right.
one thing you can control.
Exactly.
Then it all
Gotta
falls
get rid
out
of
on
it.
you because God hates you. Wow. Now there's nothing you can
Wow.
control.
Bringing him back into the conversation
Auntie.
twice today.
I know.
So you've gone to school for musical performance and contemporary writing and production. What is it like writing songs for you as opposed to the songs that you're now writing for screen and other people?
I would say it's definitely like more intertwined than I thought it would be. Definitely everything that I write in general, just like as a songwriter, but also as a composer, things for film or advertisements, it all comes from a place of truth. Like I'm like, okay, this is a story that I want to tell. How am I going to tell it, even if I don't have lyrics in it sometimes?
And even if you're telling it about like Gain detergent.
Exactly. Gotta get in there.
Did you write a jingle for Gain detergent? Oh, did you write
But maybe one day. Who knows?
Did you write a jingle that we might have heard?
I don't think so. I know. The
We
clock
had
is ticking.
We had a Blue Man on the group, a Blue Man from the Blue Man Group on the show last week, which was the first job I applied for out of college. Second job, trying to write jingles. Failed on both fronts.
Well, I never knew that about you.
Don't follow. Well, no, Monty's career trajectory is totally fine to follow if you wanna.
Yeah.
But I feel like you'll do better with jingles.
Yeah. There's still going to be money in advertising. There's no money in public radio, as we just found out earlier in the
Whoa!
show.
Hey, too soon.
You are playing at Bands on Brewster, which is in your hometown. You grew up in Northampton, Florence, I believe,
did, yeah,
right? And the
Florence,
Dostal name is
The
very
Dostal.
popular in the area. You've seen it on
Few
business.
generations gone down.
Yeah. Tell us about you're one of the younger members of the Northampton music scene that we've had on in a while. It's just a recent graduate. Tell us what you remember growing up in that scene and now that you're a part of it, what it means to you.
Definitely, I'm so grateful for the entire community, music community at Northampton High School, and for my family. I come out of a musical family. My mom's a composer. She's all into the jazz and keyboard and vocals. And my brother's also a songwriter, and so it's really cool to grow up around that sort of environment and just be encouraged to do what you love. Yeah.
How different does it feel doing music here as opposed to while you were studying in Boston?
I will say it honestly, it feels really cool to come here and be like, look, this is all this stuff that I've been working on this whole time. Like, let's get a run on it. Like, let's play some shows. And it's cool to see my friends and family excited to come and watch us and hear us. And it's awesome.
Well, it'll be a big family affair, I'm sure, at Bands on Brewster this coming Thursday,
Yeah.
which is right next door to Thorns in the big parking garage, and it's Lucia Dostal. Let's take a little break and hear
Indeed.
another song from Lucia Dostal this Live Music Friday.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. It's Live Music Friday, and this group is going to be playing at Bands on Brewster in Northampton on Thursday. It's Lucia Dostal. Let's hear another song.
All right, take it away. This one is called I Want My Secrets Back, and it's about when you tell somebody something maybe you wish you didn't tell them. Here we go. You're not invited to the party, but I know you'll come anyways. You know the codes to my apartment, and I know where you keep your spare key. Red wine bleeding through the floorboards. Your favorite drink, always citrus sweet. Now I don't know you anymore, and I wish you could unknow me. You played with my mind like I'm made of silly bands. You realize you pulled the wool over my eyes with your own hand. I put my trust in you, wrong move, I guess that's that. You made me feel like a fool, now I want my secrets back. I put my trust in you, wrong move, I guess that's that. You made me feel like a fool, now I want my secrets back. Now I want my secrets back. Now I want my secrets back. I should've never told you when I fell for him. I should've never told you when she got under my skin. I wish I never called you when I needed a friend. I think we both know how the story ends. My secret's impatient on the tip of your tongue. Oh, as if I loaded it up and handed you the gun. I put my trust in you, wrong move, I guess that's that. You made me feel like a fool, now I want my secrets back. I put my trust in you, wrong move, I guess that's that. You made me feel like a fool, now I want my secrets back. I put my trust in you, wrong move, I guess that's that. You made me feel like a fool, now I want my secrets back. I put my trust in you, wrong move, I guess that's that. You made me feel like a fool, now I want my secrets back. 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 Now I want my secrets back.
Lucia Dostal here, Live Music Friday in the Fabulous 413 with accompaniment by Carly Morales, the first person I believe who's ever played thighs as an instrument on Live Music Friday, as well as Joey Schuyler.
So, Bands on Brewster is an outdoor venue, and you've played inside a lot. How do you feel about the difference playing outside as opposed to inside? Because I think people who don't perform music don't necessarily understand that they sound and feel entirely different.
They really do. That is completely true. I feel like, honestly, playing outdoor, I really do like playing outside. Like, it's kind of fun to be in the wind, although maybe be careful for how far Mother Nature takes its course. Is it going to rain? Is the wind blowing?
At least it won't be freezing and your fingers will freeze up. But if then it's hot or humid, then your instrument goes out of tune.
I know. Sometimes a string here or there, you never know. Like yesterday we were at Summer in the City in Boston, and it was a little too humid for my liking playing outside. So
that's understandable. My funk band has played outside in the rain, where we lost power in the middle. In fact, we were playing in the rain and doing handling it, and then it got so bad that the electricity went out, and we're like, somebody's going to die, so we should maybe stop this
gig. You had something above you, no?
Yeah, but the electricity was not under that
tent. Joey, we haven't heard from you at all. Are you in other bands as well as Lucia's band?
Yeah, I mean, I play with an artist named Juliana Kopp. I play with Malachi Nasser. I'm also in the same boat. I just graduated from Berkeley, and in the environment, you just kind of have to make do by playing with everyone that you know. It's like, hey, you're a guitarist. I know you're in 17 other projects, but I have this one gig, you know?
I do know.
What about you, Carly? Are you in other projects as well?
Yeah. I'm playing drums in a few things and doing some BGV stuff. I have my own band as well with my own songs.
What's it called?
Well. It's just my name, Carly Morales.
But to that end, Lucia, like, how does it feel like Swiss Armying your songs for different arrangements of artists? Because these are not the same people that I've seen in some of your videos.
Yes, definitely. No, you're absolutely right. It's really fun. I love being able to take a song and bring it to different people and see what their take is on it. You know, we were just playing Secrets, and Joey had all these really cool different inversions, and it sounded so cool, different than I've ever played it before.
Well, that's so great.
Yeah.
Well, Lucia Dostal going to be playing at Bands on Brewster this coming Thursday for free outside next to Thorns Marketplace in downtown Northampton. Thanks for coming in and playing.
Thank you for having
on
us.
the Fabulous 413 for Live Music Friday.
Next week on the Fabulous 413, we'll explore unique geological features in Hampshire County with author and professor Noah Charney.
We'll speak with soprano Karen Slack about the innovative African Queens program heading to Tanglewood.
And get our hands on a tour of Shakespeare and Company in Lenox.
We'll learn how, if you're an aspiring young filmmaker, you could be part of the Tri-Fest at the Triplex Cinema.
We'll hear about an electronica festival at the Shea Theater and look at the bar advocate shortage and so much more. And check out Lucia Dostal's music on their Bandcamp page because support your local musicians.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday on the Fabulous 413.